It's been about 8 years. The last Glorious Unseen album was back in 2012, so it's been a long time. So wanted to give a quick description each day this week of each song, and want to give you a little teaser of each song. So track 1 is the song Make All Things New. Comes from the verse Revelation 21:5 that says, "Behold, I make all things new," talking about God coming to bring heaven and earth together and really make bring the fulfillment of everything that we are longing for. And that's the thing that I've been kept coming back to the last couple of years in the midst of all kinds of turmoil and chaos and offense and anger and anxiety and economic upheaval and viruses and political things and all this. It's like, the reality is we want to have an impact on those areas and we want to speak into those things. But the reality is Jesus comes to make all things new. Jesus brings the restoration, okay? So one thing I say in this song, one of the lines is, "Help me see the world with a kingdom point of view." And that's important as we look upon current events. We want to see current events with a kingdom perspective, not a perspective of who's wrong and who's right. It's really a kingdom point of view that we're looking for. And if we can see current events through a kingdom mindset, meaning we know Jesus is coming to make the wrong things right, we know Jesus is coming to restore all things, although of course we are praying for, before he comes, we're praying that we're praying that we can have an impact on these things. But ultimately, Jesus makes the wrong thing right. So that's when I say, come make all things new, that should be our ultimate prayer. And so listen to this clip of the song. I hope it blesses you. The iTunes pre-order is up, and there's a few physical copies of this album remaining. You can get one on the web store. But enjoy this clip of Make All Things New. Thanks.
And Father, take my life and make me more like you. I've seen you take what's broken and make it just like new. And help me see the world with your kingdom point of view. Lord, return, make all things new.
So track 2 of the Make All Things New EP is called Glimpse of You. And this one, super fun song. I would say this is my favorite pop song that I've ever written. It's kind of like this alt pop vibe. I don't even know what you want to call it. But David May is the producer on this album, and he puts together some really fun beats and programming. And some just really fun stuff to drive to and listen to. This song came from Psalm 139 that talks about, I think the verse says, "Where could I flee from your presence? Where could I go from your spirit?" And I have the lyric in here that says, "Why would I run from your presence? Why would I hide from your eyes?" So really we're referring to that Psalm 139 language, and saying that, hey, there's nowhere I could go that would escape the glimpse would escape God's glimpse, and is kind of saying, when I'm in your glimpse, or when I'm experiencing your presence, that's when I'm finding joy. That's when I'm finding fulfillment. And so you'll really enjoy these lyrics. Really fun song. This is like the single or whatever, it's like 3.5 minutes long or whatever, but yeah, super fun song. So again, the full record comes out Friday, and there are still some t-shirts and physical copy CDs available if you want to pick one up on the web store. That is not going to last long, but they are available now. So check it out. Check out this clip of Glimpse of You.
I can't resist this beauty, Jesus. You resurrect my life with a glimpse of you. Yeah, I need a glimpse of you.
Hey guys, so track 3 of the Make All Things New EP is Hold My Heart, and you've probably already heard of the song because I released it as a single a couple weeks ago, but it's definitely, man, some of my favorite lyrics that I've ever been able to write, and it really comes straight out of Revelation 21 and 22. That second verse, we will walk in the cool of the garden. It talks about the stream of living water that comes from the throne. So, man, it was just really special when I was able to write those lyrics, and so the chorus of the song says, "Hold my heart in the midst of the shaking," and you may not be familiar with what we're talking about when we say the shaking. The shaking is something that's referred to in the book of Haggai and Hebrews as the verse actually says that everything that can be shaken will be shaken, or he will shake everything that can be shaken. And what that means is really just economic systems and political systems and wars and famines and pestilence and all the stuff that's referred to in scripture is some of the shaking that is happening right now on the earth and that will be happening even more. And so when I sing that lyric, "Hold my heart in the midst of the shaking," I'm really saying, Lord, protect my heart from offense and from anger and from distrust and from the kind of moving away from you and getting angry at you when I experience shaking, even in my own life, because I get offended because I think that you caused it, you know? So that's what I'm referring to. Hold my heart in the midst of the shaking. Lord, protect me from offense as there's shaking that is going on in the earth. Because again, the ultimate prayer that we say in this song is the Spirit and the bride say, "Come." And it's the Holy Spirit in unity with the church, which is the bride. Our prayer is, "Come, Lord, come. Come, Lord, come." And that's the ultimate thing we're looking for. And so in the meantime, we're experiencing the shaking right now. And what we need in the meantime is we need to say that prayer, Lord, hold my heart in the midst of the shaking, in the midst of the storm. Protect me from getting angry and offended at things that are happening. And, you know, why, Lord, did you cause this? Or why did you allow this to happen? You know, those kinds of arguments, people have that all the time. And so we need to say, Lord, hold my heart and protect me from offense and anger in the midst of this time. So the song came out really, really nice. Just a really special song and just real, like, epic, totally epic at the end of the song. David May, again, produced this and made it freaking phenomenal. So, again, the album's coming out Friday, so enjoy this clip of Hold My Heart.
Hold my heart in the midst of the shaking. Hold my heart in the midst of the storm. All creation is watching and waiting. And the Spirit and the bride say, "Come, come, Lord, come. Come, Lord, come. Like you promised, we say, come, Lord, come."
Okay, so track 4 of the Make All Things New album is called Anoint, and based on Psalm 23. So we had released this song about a year before the album has actually come out here. This was the first song that David May and he's the producer of the album, that we had worked on. And I actually wrote this a long time ago, or at least the chorus, when I was on staff at a church up in upstate New York, and was working with the ministry school up there, and we were doing a worship with the word, kind of a prayer and worship set, and I was singing through Psalm 23, and I got to the part of the psalm where it says, "You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows," and I just started singing this chorus, "You anoint my head, Now My Cup Is Overflowing, and really felt like it had some life on it, and it was a good, it was a great piece to a song. So actually just carried that chorus around with me for a while and couldn't quite finish the song until a few years later. I actually finished out the verses to that song, but the whole thing is straight out of Psalm 23. So it's really just, talking about the Lord is my provider, and I'm safe in your presence. And then the second verse talks about when I'm walking through the darkest valley, you are with me. And so just was a great song, and I love the production of it. And I did a video of it last summer with pictures or videos of my son, who was at that time, he was like 6 months old, and I kind of released the song around Father's Day, so it was kind of a cool thing. But anyway, so most of you have already heard the song since it's been out for a while, but I wanted you to know kind of the story behind that and how that all came about. And so again, the album is coming out tomorrow, so I still do have some physical CDs and some shirts, but the shirts are getting very low, and some of the sizes are pretty much sold out. So anyway, go to the web store if you want to get some of that stuff, and enjoy this clip of Anoint.
When I'm walking through the darkest valley, I will not fear, 'cause I know you are with me. I look up and I behold your beauty. Will you come and touch my heart again? You anoint my head with oil. Now my cup is overflowing again.
The last song on the EP is old Glorious Unseen fans will be very excited about the Tonight the Stars Speak Sweet Sweet Sound remix, kind of a mashup of the two songs that I did. So that it was interesting how that came together. Tonight the Stars Speak is one of the first worship songs I ever wrote, about 16 years ago. Was obviously the title of the first Glorious Unseen album, and then Sweet Sweet Sound was on the second Glorious Unseen album. But there was a few occasions in recent years when I led the song live, Tonight the Stars Speak, I would merge the bridge and the ending of Sweet Sweet Sound into the song Tonight the Stars Speak. So, and it was always really awesome. It just had a really good flow to it. The songs they flowed well together. So I really wanted to make a recording of that. I really wanted to put that, because I wanted to listen to it personally. So I decided to do that for this album. So it turned out really, really great, and even better than I would have expected. So the Tonight the Stars Speak, it's really the bulk of that song, and then it goes right into the bridge of Sweet Sweet Sound, which is one of my favorite bridges that I've ever written, and then kind of goes into the end of the song, and it has a really cool Cigaros kind of tack vibe, if you're familiar with what that is, at the end of the song, and really just a vamp as we kind of lead out to the end of the album. And man, David May and Dave Swanson, again, they produced this record, and they did a phenomenal job. So anyway, excited, the record's out today. Go listen to it and enjoy this clip of Tonight the Stars Speak Sweet Sweet Sound.